All right, we are live. Good morning, good afternoon. This is Benjamin Cadet from Eclipse, back for another virtual IoT meetup. We managed to do one every other week now, and I'm actually very happy with the turnout. We already have lots of people who are SVP, so thanks for joining today. Our guest is Kamil from the MQTT-spy project. So today, I think Kamil virtually doesn't have any slides. It's going to be mostly a demo. There's lots of cool features in MQTT-spy, but actually without further ado, I will let Kamil tell you all about MQTT-spy. Just please make sure that if you have any questions, ask them using the virtual IoT hashtag on Twitter, or you can also comment on meetup.com if that's more convenient for you, or I think Google+. You can also comment on the Google event page. We will make sure to collect your questions and send them to Kamil so as he can answer them. So Kamil, welcome. And why don't you tell us everything about MQTT-spy now?
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thanks, Benjamin, for the introduction. My name is Kamil Baczkowicz, and I will take you through the key features of MQTT-spy today. So once again, thank you very much for joining. Hope you're going to enjoy it. And please raise questions as we go along. So don't really be afraid of asking for stuff. I will try to, after each kind of main subject we're going to cover, we'll see if we can answer any questions as we go along, and then also at the end we'll try to catch up on any remaining questions. So please join the discussion. So okay, MQTT-spy, that's the plan for today. So I will try to give you a quick intro on what it is and its current status, how to really get started with using it. Then a quick overview of the user interface and then its unique features. And then we're going to go into more detail about each of those functional areas within MQTT-spy, and then a catch up on questions and a quick wrap up. MQTT-spy, that's free and open source, so everyone can use it. You can download it, you can get the source code, you can see how it's been done. The project is being moving to Eclipse Paho now, so it will be part of Eclipse IoT. The process is now kind of being finalized, so very soon you should see MQTT-spy repo and everything being under the Eclipse umbrella. And what that means is that we want to make MQTT-spy available to everyone, and also everyone to be able to contribute to it. So the key thing is, if there are features that you would like to see in MQTT-spy in the future, then please get in touch, raise those questions or feature requests, and then hopefully as a community we can make those things happen. So let's move to how actually we can use MQTT-spy. So I will just switch some windows, hopefully be able to see everything. So best thing to start is go to the homepage of the project on GitHub. That address might change in the future as the project moves to Eclipse, but for now, that's what it is, and I'll supply the links at the end. So best is to head off to the wiki page, and there are quite a few sections there. So when you are not sure how to do things, it's always best to look at the wiki and see if any of your kind of questions are covered by that. But if not, then again, feel free to raise questions through the page as well. So go to the wiki and kind of, you've got two options. You've got the Getting Started guide, which is kind of step by step and the kind of the key ways to get started with MQTT-spy. So feel free to read that through in your own time. There are kind of various ways to start it, from the command line, double clicking, and so on. But for that demonstration today, we'll just assume we go straight to the downloads. And for today, we'll be using the latest beta, which is 0.6.0. I will describe what's new, but the key thing in version 6 that will be coming in the coming weeks or months is kind of improvements around charts and JSON parsing. So to get it downloaded, go to the download section and then just hit that URL. I've downloaded it already to make it quicker. So we've got it there. And before you start, it's best if you check which version of, sorry, can't type, which version of Java you've got installed. So this one is 1.8 update 66, probably should update it to the latest version now. But what is important is that it's update 60 or above. Otherwise, certain things might not work. So we've got that version, we've downloaded it, and the first thing we do, we can just double click on the jar, and hopefully in a few seconds, here we go, it will start up. So first thing it does when you start it up, it checks with the download server which version you've got, and it will give you some indication of whether you're up to date, whether you need any updates, and so on. So that's what you are effectively presented with when you start the application. And you can see some kind of messages there saying no configuration found and so on. So the thing to resolve it when you start is either click here or from configuration, click restore default. So let's click there. And then a few options here. So the best thing is to create a config file with sample content. That's the best way to start. So let's click that. And that's what we've got. So, okay, so we've got a configuration file loaded. That's the location if you want to go and inspect the file yourself. And that's where we've got all our connections. So in that sample config file, there are some predefined connections. To really see if everything is working fine, we're going to connect to the sandbox broker at IoT Eclipse. So to do that, you just click on that button, open ioteclipse.org, and hopefully, here we go. So that's the connection tab for our broker. And the green background indicates everything is fine. So you can see that the status is connected, and that we've got some security on that connection, which is good. So, okay, so how then should we start? So we've got a connection. The next thing we could try is to subscribe to a topic. So we, under the subscriptions and received messages, we click new. And then let's do mqtt-spy /hash. So that should give us all messages with mqtt-spy / whatever comes next. Click subscribe, and you can see we've got a new tab that has been created. And that is now active, which means that if any messages are published on that topic, then we'll receive them. So actually, if you were to open your mqtt-spy and send a message to a topic that matched that subscription, a message should pop in here saying we've received it. But let's do a sample one. So can just, for the topic, just do mqtt-spy /test1. And for the data or the payload, we do the world. And then just click publish. And we've got a message here. So what we did is, first, as you remember, we created a subscription. then we published a message on that topic with that payload, and we've now received a message on that topic and that payload. And we can see that someone has just published another message, which is great. And we've got some more messages coming. So that's a way we could effectively implement a basic chat mechanism for that session. That's one of the ways to use it. But if I unsubscribe, then we might need to look at some other things then. So that's really how to get started. So downloading it, running it, creating a simple subscription, and publishing some messages. That should kind of give you a brief idea of kind of the mechanism that's involved with MQTT and mqtt-spy itself. So now let's kind of go back a bit and look at how the application itself is structured. So let's move now to the user interface overview. So let's go back. Oh, here it is. So when you start MQTT-spy, or let's do it again. So I'll close it now and go to the, oops, sorry. Go to my downloaded jar and just double click on it again. It might take a second or two. Or maybe I haven't clicked on it properly. Here we go. So again, it's trying to connect to the update server to check which version we've got. And that's what you presented when you start the application. So that's the so-called control panel with a few panes to give you a brief idea of what you've got. So some information about your configuration file, kind of the list and overview and summary of all the connections you've got configured to various brokers, information about the current version, and any updates that are available, and some basic stats about the usage of MQTT-spy. So for instance, when you click through, it will just give you kind of those various stats. So that's the control panel. To open a connection that you've defined already, so like we've done before, you just click on the button and then it goes and creates a new connection tab and connects to the broker. So that is then the connection tab. And there are kind of few things to do. So the kind of the background color indicates whether everything is okay. So green means everything is fine. When it's establishing the connection, you might see yellow and a spinning kind of thingy there, and red will indicate when something went wrong and you've lost your connection. So also when you hover over the tab, it gives you kind of the basic overview of your connection status. And then within the connection tab, you've got various panes for doing stuff. So this one there, that's for publishing messages. Then you've got another one for doing scripted publications, which we're going to cover later. And the next one, which is kind of, I think, mostly used, is subscriptions and received messages. And that's where you define new subscriptions using that button there. And that's how you effectively see what's going on in the system. So if we, again, subscribe to our previous topic, we've got a new tab, and we also have the old tab. What it means. So in the old tab, you're going to see all messages for all subscriptions that you've created, whereas the individual tabs are going to only contain messages that are specific to that tab. So if, for instance, let's do a sample here. So we can close that off. Let's do that first. And let's do test 1. And then let's create another subscription. So we now have 2 tabs with one for each subscription. Oops. So if we now publish, so let's go to the alt tab first. So you publish a message, it's then received, everything is as expected. We then change the topic to 2, and we publish with pressing enter, and we see it again. But when you actually then go to those specific tabs, you're only going to see messages for that specific subscription. So that's how you can kind of narrow down what you want to look at, the kind of the specific messages you're interested in. Or if you actually want to see all those messages, then you just find them in the alt tab. So what next? So on the connection tab itself, you've got a context menu. So if you right click, you've got some options to disconnect and close it, to show broker statistics, and to modify some of the panes and how things are displayed. And then that's the edit menu is if you want to modify your connection settings and then kind of reapply them and reconnect. So that's the kind of how it's structured. And in those various places, you will find various context menus to give you some more functionality. So one is for the connection itself, and then you will find that for the individual subscriptions, there is also some additional functionality available. So if you go to, say, one of those subscriptions, you've got the option to unsubscribe and simply keep the tab if you want to use it later. And at that point, you won't be receiving messages on that subscription. And then you can simply resubscribe, and that should be active again. So if we, let's say, publish another message. So we've got it now. So that is active. And what it also allows you to do is if you want to copy the subscription topic to clipboard for kind of using it somewhere else, you can clean the history. So now we've got 2 messages and some topics listed. You can simply click that and it clears everything for you. So if you want to start from scratch. And then we'll go through this thing later. So we've got some charting capabilities and some configuration and UI stuff as well. So let's publish some basic messages again. So let's do that. And let's put another message. So now you can see that if we keep pressing publish, effectively we're publishing the same message, but we're getting more and more messages. So I will explain that in a bit when we've got when we go through scripted publications, because we're going to generate far more messages, and I'm going to explain the concept behind the kind of the topics and the messages we store and how to navigate between those messages. And then you've got the main menu from which you can trigger a number of things. So you can exit the application. You can open a kind of a standalone configuration file and restore the defaults. So if you click on that, if at any point you don't like what you've done, you can simply go back to the sample configuration we started from. So don't worry that you're going to break something. Hopefully you can always go back to kind of a known point. And the key thing is, okay, so you've got those pre-configured connections. You would like to now edit them. So either click here or go from the main connections. That's the list of all the connections. And if you want to then look at that one, so we've got the Eclipse IoT org. That's the connection name. Then we can specify the protocol version and various other properties, again, which hopefully we'll be able to cover later. So once you've changed the configuration, you can then apply it. So let's say by default, that connection comes with TLS enabled. So we're going over a secure connection. If for any reason you don't want that, we can just disable it, apply it, reopen it, and you're going to see that we now have a kind of a new connection without the kind of the lock, which means that's a non-secure connection at this stage. So now, say you don't like what you've done and you don't remember how to restore that, just click that and that restores the default settings, and you can see that we have TLS enabled for the Eclipse connection again. So that's the kind of structure of the application. Now I'll try to take you through some of the kind of the unique features of mqtt-spy. So if there are any questions, please ask. Hopefully we're going to kind of give you better understanding as we go through, but please raise any questions as we go along. So let's look at the kind of the unique features. So first thing, you can open multiple connections at the same time. So let's say you want to connect to the Eclipse Sandbox and do some testing there. It's taking a while. That's okay, so that's good. I was worried that there's some problems on my side, but let's say you want to do some testing there and you want to do some testing with the test server at mosquito.org. So you can connect to both. You can also connect to a local Mosquito running or any other server that you've got, and now you have 3 connections, concurrent connections effectively, and you can do stuff with them kind of all at the same time. So you can subscribe and maintain subscriptions on multiple brokers if you want to do some monitoring. Another thing is that for those connections, you can also configure automatic reconnect. Let's say for the local host, I can tick reconnect on failure, and that will then hopefully try to reconnect when there is a problem. So we've got that local connection now. If we go to the terminal and restart the Mosquito service, you could see that it lost the connection for a fraction of a second. So let's stop it. So you can now see that this connection is not active anymore. It's a bit red and it keeps trying to connect. It will give you some basic information of the status. And if we then start it again with the next attempt, which is every couple of seconds, and you can configure it. Here we go. So that's connect again. So that's when you want to leave mqtt-spy running for longer periods of time and you're worried about losing connectivity, you can configure kind of the automatic reconnect. So with the latest version, you also get some advanced SSL and TLS configuration. So that's kind of a basic one where you just define the protocol and you provide a CA certificate, but there are many other ways of configuring TLS and SSL, and that should kind of cover every eventuality effectively. So you've got quite a few bits there to configure if you wish. Another key feature is what we're going to cover in a bit is the kind of the summary of all the topics and received messages. It's then the kind of the browsing, the searching, the filtering of messages that you can do. Then it's the content formatting. So imagine you receive a binary message and you want to display it nicely. Then mqtt-spy allows you to do those things, to decode a binary or a hex message into plain text, or some kind of special encoding so that it's kind of human readable. Another thing is that you can audit messages, you can replay messages, you can look at those messages offline. So you're doing some testing, you want to save those messages and then look at them again. So that's what you can do. You can export lists of topics and messages. You can customize what you kind of how those panes are put together and what you can see. So a quick one would be with that is you go into window, you go change perspective, and then you've got kind of varying levels of detail that you're going to see. So if you switch to detailed, now you've got access to quality of service, retained, the format, and a few other MQTT specific features. And then we're also going to look at processing stats and kind of the stats from the broker itself, charting capabilities, scripting, and automated testing. So these are the kind of the core features of MQTT-spy. And now we'll try to dive into those areas to show you what it can actually do. So let me just disconnect those two connections, and we've got that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is to look at scripting. So of course you can let me just change the default so we don't see kind of the unnecessary stuff. So you can, of course, when you're doing testing with MQTT systems or devices or whatever you've got, you can, of course, trigger messages manually by simply typing in the topic and some data and publishing, as we've done a few minutes ago. But that's a very manual and intensive process. So what you can do instead is that you can define scripts for publishing messages and also for other areas. So let me just configure the script directory for MQTT-spy. So let me just find that. I've added it to favorites, but now I must say, here we go. I then forgot when I put it. So we've got some stuff ready here. Let me just make it a bit bigger so we can see. So what we've just did is we said where to find scripts, where to find publication scripts that we want to run with. So it then MQTT-spy went and inspected that directory, and now we can see the list of available scripts. So what you can do with it? So I'll just run a few just to demonstrate the capabilities. So that's those kind of room scripts. That's effectively to simulate sensors in various rooms around the house. Make sure we subscribe to Hash. So that's now running on the local broker. So we should start seeing some messages. So okay, so if you just double click on that, that's definitely not the right topic. Okay. Okay. Now I know. Let's subscribe to Hash. That will be a bit easier. So now we should see all our messages. So you can see that script, bedroom 1, is now running, and it was designed to publish 20 messages and finish. So let's clear off again. It's running, publishing messages, and how you know it's publishing messages. You can see first in the summary here, that's the list of all the topics for that subscription. So we've got our topic and some payload being published with some temperature readings and humidity readings. We can make that script kind of looping forever. So we've got this one, and let's make the other ones as well. So if you've got some home automation software, you would like to simulate various sensors, that's one of the ways you can do it. So now we've got messages for various rooms or various sensors publishing messages. And so what you can see here, so that's the summary of all the topics that are being published to. That's the last message that has been received, and that's the total number of messages that we've got on the topic and when the last message was received. And in here, That's just a quick kind of browser window, so that will always show you the latest if you've got that ticked. If you want to inspect those messages using that, you just untick it, put your focus there, and now you can start navigating using the arrow keys or the mouse scroll or those buttons here to go between messages and see what was actually being published. So these are the kind of the scripted, the fully scripted publications. The next way to publish messages is actually when you want to put some parameters to the script. So what you can do, let me just double check. Yeah. So if you say mqtt-spy test3 hello, and then rather than performing a manual publication, which of course you can do, you can then use a script to enrich that message further. So in that situation, the script that we've defined takes the topic and publishes a message on the topic, takes the value and adds a timestamp. So every time you publish a message now, and that's defined in the script, will do some extra stuff. So that's how you can manually publish with a script to enrich the message further and kind of have all those publications going automatically. There are other ways to publish messages. You can configure scripts for subscriptions and so on. So we'll cover that in a bit. So that's how you publish messages. What about then subscriptions? So let me just kick off something that we'll be using later. So connecting to the Eclipse Sandbox again. And
by the way, Kamil, quick question regarding the connection.
Yeah.
I think I get some echo. I don't know if it's just me. The connection for WebSockets, is this supported? And connection over proxies, can you maybe, I mean, I don't think you need to show it, or maybe for the WebSocket.
Yeah, sure. So so let's go to manage connections and say the test mosquito server. So we can connect over WebSockets. So you just go to manage connections, and next to your server URI, you pick WebSockets as opposed to kind of the default basic TCP/IP connection. So yes, that's supported. For proxies, I think you need to show me a kind of an example of what you actually have in mind. But if that's not available already, I'm sure we can easily add it. So yes, WebSockets are supported.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let's go back here. So now let's quickly look at subscriptions. I'll probably kind of be brief on that to make sure we can cover everything. So you've already seen those subscriptions being defined, but what you can also do is say, if I receive messages on a subscription, then I want to run a script which is going to perform an automatic reply. So I'll just show you quickly that. I won't be demonstrating it. So you go into the subscriptions, you go to topics, you define a new topic, and here you provide the location of the script you would like to run. And what that means is that whenever a message is received on that particular topic you've defined, it will then run a script which can generate automatic reply back to the sender. So that's one thing. And second thing is formatting messages. So you can see those JSON messages being received here. So what if you like to do some formatting on that? So let's say you want a nicely formatted JSON. or you want to encode it. So, for instance, imagine that this is some binary data, and you actually want to see in a readable format and export it to another tool. So you can use then the base64 encoder, and that will do base64 encoding for you automatically. Or if you actually have the opposite, the payloads are base64 encoded, you can then use the decoder to see the payload. And what that actually means, I'll just give you an example. So you go into the formatters, and these are the available formatters in by default. So plain means no formatting. Hex decoder means if you have an input like this one, a message like that, that's what you're going to see in mqtt-spy. So you can decode between those. If, on the other hand, if you want to convert this one to that one, again, you pick the appropriate formatter to do it for you. And some stuff I'm going to show in a second, pretty JSON formatting and pretty XML formatting, and also support for Eclipse Cura. So you know that Cura uses some kind of encoding from Google Protobuf to make it more compact. And of course, that means you can't read it if you just use an MQTT client without any functionality in it. So with that, it will automatically decode it to nicely formatted JSON, so you can actually see what's inside, which I'm going to cover in a second. So go back to this one. We keep receiving JSON messages, and you would like to do some nice formatting. So now we've got the pretty JSON formatter enabled, and you can see all messages in the browser are now formatted in a kind of more readable way. So on the message browsing, MQTT-spy will keep buffering all the messages it keeps receiving up to the configured value, which you can change in the settings. And the latest message will always have the index of 1. So that will indicate this number here that you've got more and more messages available to you, and then a breakdown of those messages into all the topics in that table. So if you want to go to a certain message, you just untick that box, and you can use those buttons or the scroll or kind of other means like the arrow keys and page up, page down to effectively go to the desired timestamp to see what happened at a particular point in time. If you want to narrow down your selection, you then use the summary table to do that. So if you bring up the context menu for that table, you can see that there is kind of a way to define what topics you would like to browse in that window here. So that's the message browser, and that acts as a kind of a filter for those messages. So let's say you only want to see the kitchen, messages from the kitchen. You go browse and select only this topic. We've got 500 messages, and you can now see that we are only browsing 1 out of 6 topics, and we've got only 500 messages on that topic. If you want to see now the other 2 bedrooms as well, you just click those, and it adds them to that set that you can now browse. So that gives you the flexibility of effectively subscribing to hash to all the messages, and then drilling down to individual topics and analyzing what's on each one to see what's going on. So that's the kind of the message browsing. And let's say we are running some other scripts as well. So let me just untick that, and let's run some simulator for kind of the energy usage in the house. So let's just browse, say, the living room and energy usage for the whole house. And there are many messages, few hundred messages there. You've got publications going for, say, the bedroom, which is this one. So we've got a few hundred messages. You don't know where things are, and you want to quickly find it. So you can go to the search and say, I want messages which have energy in the payload. You click enter. There are no messages because I've misspelled energy. So you hit again, hit enter, and now it gives you the list of all the messages that match that search criteria. So how to make it more flexible? Well, you in that situation, that's just a simple string search, but you can run that with a script or with an inline script. So let's go for that just to show the capability. And I will just copy some stuff that I've created before and explain to you. So that's using an inline script, which is going to extract a JSON value of that. And it will be searching for messages with humidity higher than 61.9. And there are none in that situation. So let's see if there are any with 60. So yeah, that's we've got a match. So now you can see that we've got all the messages where we've extracted that field from the JSON object and run a comparison on that value to make sure we get the messages we actually want. So again, 61, there are fewer, so that's only 59 messages. If you click for that, they will automatically keep checking any messages that are coming in. But looks like we haven't got anything more. So that's the way to search for messages. And you can, again, do some kind of browsing on that and kind of further drill down into those messages. So that's the scripting and searching functionality. And now say, okay, I've got all those topics and I would like to put them into some form of a document or use them somewhere else, email them to someone. What you can do is you can say, if you select all these topics, select all of them, then you go into tools and you've got some export functionality. So you can export messages to clipboard, either just that message or all those messages, to an audit file, which you can then use for replay and offline analysis, binary file for images if you're transferring in images, and you can extract the list of all the topics. So if we click that, say all browse topics, and say just in here to show you with Control V, we've just pasted all the topics. So that's a way to get stuff out of MQTT-spy. Then we've got things like auditing, replay, and offline browsing. So I'm going to quickly demonstrate that to you, and at the same time the Cura formatter. So unfortunately, there are no Eclipse Cura instances running for on the kind of the public broker at this stage. Oops, not here. And here we go. So before I've recorded some messages, some Cura messages. So I'm going to bring it up now. So that's the way effectively to do kind of offline browsing. So separately before this, I've recorded some messages, did an export as I've explained before. So run that export as a message audit file, and now I've effectively loaded that log file. And these are messages published by Eclipse Cura. And if you just, as mentioned before, if you just use a standard tool, that's what you're going to see. So that's not very kind of helpful. And with the formatters, you can pick the Eclipse Cura formatter, and now you can actually see the actual content. So it decodes what's inside that message and turns that into a JSON object, which then is kind of formatted. So you can see various kind of Cura messages being published yesterday evening when I was recording those. So that's kind of how you do offline browsing. That's how you do the Cura formatting to actually see what's inside those messages. And now let's quickly look at statistics. So we are connected. Oh, here we go. That's a message from Eclipse Cura. So again, just enable that, and we can see that there is some stuff in there. So how do we then do kind of basic statistics? So For the Eclipse IoT, you just go to Show Broker Statistics. It opens a new tab. You go there, and you've got a summary of all those kind of various statistics that Mosquitto makes available. And let's say you're interested in the messages that are being sent. So let's say I would like to see those. And let's say now we would like to show a chart for that. So you right click based on the selection you've got, do charts, and off you go. So that will now keep updating itself and kind of show how many messages are being sent on the public broker. Hopefully that chart is going to become a bit more interesting. So I will leave it on and we'll get back to that. And then I think we might be a bit short on time, so I won't cover the test cases. But what you can do with them is define some script that will automatically test your system. So you go into, say, the specific connection. So for instance, this one, you bring up the test cases pane, and it disappeared somewhere. Where is it? Here we go. And then you load some test cases. So again, and just quickly load it up. And test cases. And what that allows you to do is say for that particular case, it will publish a message to a topic, subscribe to a topic, publish a message, and verify whether that message has been received. So it's actually that test is testing itself, you could say, but you can easily customize that to test your own system to see if, say, your kind of automation tool automatically responds to the messages that are being published to it. Going back to the charts, that's still looking a bit flat, but that should give you an idea of what you can do with those charts. And then you've got kind of full pan and zoom capability to kind of go around the chart and actually see what's going on. And I'm just going to show you another example on those. So let's say you like to chart the temperature for bedroom 1. So that's a bit tricky because you've got a JSON object, but we can do that with the latest version of mqtt-spy. So the red means, oh, I can't pass that message, so something is not right. So you can edit that series, say I've got a JSON path expression, and then you can say I would like to extract temperature from that value, and then it draws it. So that's probably a bit more interesting than the kind of the broker stats we've seen. So now it will start charting all the messages that are being received and the temperature for that particular sensor. So that's how we can use the charts and the kind of the new JSON path functionality. And if you then want to see kind of there are actually other ways of measuring what's going on in the system as well. In the summary tab, you've got the number of topics you currently have, the number of messages that have been buffered, and also kind of how many messages are currently being received on that broker. So if you kick off some more messages, and let's say we want to show a chart on that, you can now see that we've got 5 series and some averages of how many messages are being sent. So that's again a way to monitor what's going on in your system, how many messages you are generating. And then again, you can zoom on that. You can do all sorts of wonderful things with your mouse scroll as well. And then very recently, we've added a feature to export the chart as an image and then run automatic export as well. So that's what you can do with it. So I must say I would love to go through some more detail, but I'm aware of the time. I think we might switch to see if you've got any questions and anything that you would like to cover quickly. Benjamin, have we got some?
At this time, I don't see other questions than what we had earlier. So maybe can you quickly let us know what's next for mqtt-spy?
Okay, yeah, excellent. So in version 6, which will be coming within a kind of few weeks, hopefully, we've got now this capability to edit the chart series and extract values for the chart, as you've seen for the JSON objects. Probably a few kind of minor fixes and improvements, but other than that, at this stage, there are kind of no kind of major plans for new functionality. But what I would like to stress out is that trying to make this project as open as possible. So if you find that mqtt-spy doesn't do something you would like it to do, and you think it will be useful for other people as well to have it, then please get in touch, raise an issue through the page, through the project page, and we'll kind of look into it and try to provide that. It's very much at this stage that we're reaching kind of more kind of mature level of the project, and it's more down to the community to say, you know, how you would like that project to develop further, what kind of functionality you would like to see coming. That's where we are with the roadmap. So there will be, of course, improvements coming in to hopefully make it even more user friendly and easier for use. But again, if you've got some requests for functionality, please raise them. That's where to find stuff. So we've got our GitHub page, which that's what it is at the moment. It might change in the future if we kind of move the project kind of under the Eclipse umbrella properly. We've got a Twitter account to send questions or suggestions or anything that you find is good. Then we can share it with everyone as well. And we also have a fundraising page. So if you like using mqtt-spy, if you find it useful, or if you really want to kind of support, we raise money for UNICEF. So please contribute if you wish. So please get in touch via the GitHub page, via Twitter, with any suggestions or questions. Or any feedback that you might have, that will be very much appreciated.
Right, that's really cool. I just wonder if we have more questions. I don't think there are any at this point. Well, the thing is that the presentation and the demo was very complete, so I hope that people will give it a try. It's really a tool that's incredibly easy to install. Actually, at some point we were discussing, Kamil, would that make sense, or would that be possible to embed mqtt-spy into a web page, so as it's loaded just like pretty much a Java web start kind of stuff, I guess?
Yes, so I've done some prototyping on that. I've created an issue on the project page. So again, as mentioned, if you have any questions or ideas, go to the project page, to the issues page, and then you can see what's actually going on, if people are reporting any things, there is usually something. And yes, we're planning to have mqtt-spy available kind of from Java Web Start. So that will be coming soon, and that means you then don't need to install anything. You just click on the link on the page, and then it will just open it for you, and you'll get automatic updates as well, hopefully. So that's the kind of thing that is coming to make it easier for people to start using it without kind of downloading it manually.
Okay, excellent. So yeah, again, no questions, but I actually see that as a good sign. There's just one final tweet from Ravi, who asked a question earlier. mqtt-spy is a really great tool. I've been using it for quite a time, and I'm really amazed with today's meetup. So I guess you did a great job, Kamil, and I'm actually looking forward also to the replay, which I hope people will use to learn more about mqtt-spy and to work through all the nice features. Regarding the virtual IoT meetup, we will be back in 2 weeks' time on May the 5th for a webinar, for a presentation about platform.io, which is a tool you may know for doing cross-compilation for Arduino, Mbed, ESP, and the like. So I'm looking forward to this meetup, and as always, if you have any suggestions of topics you would like us to cover, just send us a note. IoT@eclipse.org or Benjamin@eclipse.org works as well. Kamil, thanks so much for joining us. I hope you will get some new users out of this webinar, and I definitely learned a lot, especially around the scripts, which are a really great feature, which I might actually use in some use cases. Thanks, Kamil. Take care.
Thank you, Benjamin, and thanks everyone for joining for this webinar. I hope you found it interesting. And yes, please get in touch, raise suggestions, queries, bugs, issues, anything. It's kind of, hopefully we can make it easier for everyone to use MQTT with mqtt-spy.
Awesome. Bye, Kamil. Take care.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.